These are seriously some of the coolest and best wick tools I have ever used. And they're extremely easy to use as well. In fact, you can even do it blindfolded. It's so easy. Don't believe me? I'll prove it. Hey everyone, I'm going to be showing you these wick tools that I've started using a ton over the last, probably 6 months or so from Norden Candle Supplies. Thanks for being here as always and spending a little time with me as I rave about these products and show them off to you, because there's a lot of great things about these products that you might not already know, and I want to share with you some of the options that you have as well. Seriously, these things are awesome. So I've had several shipments of these sent to me from Norden Candle Supply. So a typical package when it shows up is going to look something like this. Very nicely packed, right on top of these really fancy business cards. And who doesn't love Smarties? So I'm going to get this layer off and then show you some examples of what we're going to be looking at. Are you guys seeing this? They have them in so many options, so many colors, different sizes, pretty much every jar known to man. We're going to dive right into this and I'm going to show you why these things are so awesome and why I love them so much. By the way, if you're new to the channel, my name is Wade, the owner of Black Tie Barn, and on this channel we do candle making and running a small business and really everything else that feels like it's appropriate. So if any of that interests you, I'd love to have you around for future videos, so subscribe to the channel. And let's go ahead and dive a little bit more into these products. So as I mentioned, they come from Norden Candle Supply. Everything you need is made to order and shipped within a week generally, and I'm telling you, it's awesome that they work that way, because anything that you need, any jar, any size, they do it. If they don't already have it, they work with customers all the time to have what you need designed for your jar. So if you use a jar that is not already part of their collection, they will just custom make one for you. They do all of this in-house. And the coolest part about that is not only can they fit every jar you need, you also get to choose the colors, and then you can choose the engraving that goes on them. For example, mine says Black Tie Barn. You can get it with nothing if you want, or you can choose whatever you want. Maybe you use yours for certain candle jars or sizes, and you can have that listed on here as well. Really, it's up to you what you want. Before I share some awesome details that you probably don't know about these products, let me give you a brief explanation of how one of them works. And I'm going to use a size you've probably already seen me use in a lot of videos. And this is the one that fits the 9-ounce straight-sided jar. Very standard, common jar. And this is an example of one of the wick clips. Now, the purpose of this one is to sit on the jar afterwards and hold your wick tight. I'm going to show you a ton of footage of me using these, and you're probably seen in a lot of my recent videos and Instagram pictures and reels that I have been using these for quite a while. And they're so much faster than ones I've used in the past, and they do a better job of keeping everything perfectly centered because they're made specifically for your jar. Many of you in the past have seen me use this white wick setter and then these white kind of X-shaped wick clips. And I've been using those for like 10 years. And a lot of you ask me where I get those. Well, I don't even remember. It's been so long ago since I purchased them. And it works fine, but it's meant to be used kind of like in several different size jars, which means none of them are really a perfect fit. And so it just depends on the jar you have whether it works really well or not. But it also takes much longer to use the wick clips and actually secure your wick on the clip, which again, I never really noticed that I was losing time doing that until I had used these. So much faster, and it does such a better job of holding your wick in place. And the reason that these work so well, as far as holding your wick secure, is the design of the V shape. Now, I've used lots of wick clips in the past that had that kind of V shape where you just kind of squeeze in the wick and it kind of like pinches it and it holds it. But this one is designed very differently. So the more you pull the wick in, the tighter it gets. So the wick only comes in as far as it needs to, and then it's perfectly tight and centered. I've never had a wick move once since using these, and I've now used them probably about 5,000 times, and not one has moved on me. And they sit around the outside of the jar, which is great because some jars you don't want them to fit inside because it might interfere with your fill level. So these fit perfectly on the outside. Now here's another example. This one fits the Nova from Dream Vessels, and it fits perfectly on top, as you can see, and it doesn't wiggle. Like there's like this tiny enough wiggle just to sit it on, and that's it. So you can trust that your wick is actually centered and not a little off center like the other ones I've used in the past, where I'm just kind of hoping and trying to make sure it's kind of lined up. But it's very easy to move, and it doesn't stay centered very well. These fit on perfectly. And like I said, it sits on the outside of the jar, which first of all makes it very easy to put on. Like there's no wrong way to put it on. You can't mess it up. But not only that, it doesn't move and it holds it very secure. So the design of this is fantastic. As you can see here, there's plenty of different colors, and there's only some of the colors here. I don't know how many they have exactly, but there are a ton of options. I've got a gray, I have a charcoal, I have red, I have neon green, I have this awesome kind of aqua or ocean blue, and then here's a different kind of darker brick red. They got this great pink here. They've got black, of course. They have white. They have pretty much every color you could possibly want. In fact, that was the hardest part for me when I bought my first ones. I was like, which color do I want? I went really basic and bought a bunch of gray ones. And then I saw all these. I'm like, well, shoot. I guess I better try something new. There's also a ton of different sizes. So I started with the standard straight 9-ounce straight sided jar that I use all the time. I showed you that there's one for the dream vessels, but you're not limited to just single wicks, and you're not limited to just cotton wicks. For example, this is a Knox jar from Aztec, I believe, and if you're putting a wood wick in this is the right size for the jar, and it fits a wood wick. And they can customize the size of the slot, so if you know you always use a 0.75 or a 0.5, they can make it the exact size you need. So again, there's ultimate flexibility because they control the entire manufacturing process. What you order is what you get. It's awesome. Let me back up a minute because I forgot to talk about the wicking process. We're going to use the Nova, for example. Here's a wick. Here's the tool that you have to actually wick the devices. And you'll see it again in some of the other footage. But these are two pieces, and this just goes in here. And this top piece fits the jar perfectly, just like the wick clip does on top. So I'm going to take a wick here, and you're just going to put it through the bottom. All right? The wick comes out the other end, and then you just put it in that slot. See that? That just holds it so make sure it doesn't actually fall out or anything. And then you can literally just set it on, and you don't have to guide it, nothing. You can just, watch, drop it. It's going to only go in the center because there's no other place for this thing to go. And then you pull it off. I didn't take the sticker off because I don't know what this wick is, and it probably doesn't go in this jar. If I was going to actually wick it, I'd put it in here, take off the sticker, same process, and then just pull it off. And the wick would, of course, stay. You'll see it in other footage how it's actually working. And then after that, then you pour your candle, or before you pour your candle, you snap on the wick clip. That's simple. So not only does each jar come with the appropriate wick clip at the end, you also have the appropriate wick setter, including ones for wood wicks, which is awesome. So if I had a wood wick, which I don't on me, but if I did, I'd put one in there, put this on top, and then same thing, pull this up, wick is set, put on your wick clip, easy peasy banana freezy. But wait, there's more. Remember I mentioned you don't have to just single wick these, you can double wick them too. Now this one is one that I'm already burning down, but you've seen it in a recent video most likely where I was using these Amberzina vessels, which by the way, they've got these for the Aura vessels for Makesy, and like I said before, pretty much every jar you need. So if I'm gonna double wick this, I can just use the double wick one they make for this jar. How cool is that? Wick that jar up, and of course it has the matching double wick clip that works the same way as everything else, and your wicks just go right in those slots. Once again, what else could you ask for? I know what you could ask for. If you needed to triple wick your candles, I don't need to triple wick this one, but if I had a slightly larger jar and needed to triple wick that, they also sell a triple wick, and then you'd put on the triple wick clip just like you would everything else. Of course, whatever color you want as well. Here's my point. I think you guys have got it by now. The options are limitless. Whether you make just one type of candle in one jar or a lot of different candles in a lot of different jars, you have everything you need as far as wick clips and wick setters without sacrificing accuracy or speed. In fact, both of those actually improve when you use these. That is why I have started using these so much. And the crazy thing is the one traditional wick setter that I'd used before, the Easy Wick Setter, I think it was what it was called, is more expensive than these. More expensive than these. And these are more accurate. So I don't know what else to say. Actually, I do know what else to say because there's a few other things I want to mention about these besides just show and tell, because there's some other perks that I have not covered. So let me hit a few major points. The first is, I kind of already touched on, is that these are handmade for you per order for exactly what you need, which means that they fit perfectly and there's no give. A lot of the ones that are out there to use that are more kind of general and fit several styles is that there's a lot of give, there's a lot of play, which leads to wicks not truly being centered a lot of times. And they're also kind of slow, and they're just not, I just don't really enjoy them. I've told people for so long that I've had a hard time finding devices that I like, and I'm pretty picky. Well, I have zero complaints with these. I also mentioned how easy they were to use. You literally saw me do it blindfolded. Granted, it's a lot easier if you can see what you're doing, but the point is you can do it without even looking. It's that easy. In fact, I did about 500 candles. Had one of my sons with me, and he was helping me wick these and take the wicks off, and he was able to do it no problem. I mean, anyone can help you do this. They're that easy to use. I think you'd probably assume this, but each one of these tools is reusable and sturdy. They're durable. They're meant to be used for years. Again, I've gone through 5,000 to 10,000 of them, and I haven't had one like break or malfunction or anything like that on me. They just work. Also, something that I learned recently that I didn't know beforehand is that they're all made with biodegradable plastic. They are sustainably sourced and plant-based. So just another cherry on top. So I mentioned this kind of unique V shape in the middle, and it's really hard to describe until you see it, but it's not just a V, but it also has this kind of gradual sharpening as it goes down into the middle of the V. I cannot explain it very well, but it's designed specifically to hold the wick snug without you having to do hardly any work to do that. It's very simple. You just bring in the wick until it stops. It is snug, so snug that you can literally shake the jar around and move it, and your wick isn't going anywhere. Like I said, I've never had one move on me, unless I just forgot to do it. So if you're someone that's had a wick moved while the candle was solidifying, you went back the next day and looked at it and you had some ruined candles, that is a thing of the past. Again, they make these for all sorts of different candle jars. I mean, if you go to their website, you will see the list of jars and vessels by size and by vendor. So if you use Candle Science, you use Makes Here, you use Flaming Candle or Aztec or whoever to use, you can just go to that section of their site and just choose the jar you use, and likely they already have it. But if they don't, as I mentioned, they do custom work as well. Even if you make your own jars. So let's say you make your own concrete jars out of molds. Guess what? They can do that too. And lastly, just to point this out again, the fact that they can make them do cotton wicks, wooden wicks of different sizes, and single, double, triple wick, or whatever you need, they can do it. I feel like a broken record, but when I say that if you need it, they can do it, I mean, I literally mean that. You can even do the wooden spiral and tube wicks as well. All right, so here's what I want you to do. In the comment section, let me know, first of all, do any of you already use some products from Norton Candle Supply? And if you do, let me know your feedback, because I'd be really shocked and surprised if anyone said that they don't like these. And then number two, if you're gonna buy them, or maybe just give me some advice, would you pick a certain color, like just your favorite colors, and use them just across the board? Or would you pick a different color based on the jar? I'm trying to get some ideas here. I'm trying to get a little inspiration, because I'm a little torn on what I wanna do. I need so many. I'm like, do I just pick a different color for each jar? I think that makes the most sense, right? Like, it's easiest to know which ones you need for which jar, right? So I think that makes sense. I've also thought about putting that on the engraving instead of my name, but I'll probably leave the name. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video and this look at these amazing clips and tools from Norton Candle Supply. They even hooked me up with a custom link for my channel for this video, so that is the one in the description below. So if you guys are curious and want to try or use them, use the link in the description below and let them know that Black Tie Barn sent you. That way they know I'm saying good things. I'm saying good things about them. All right, guys, thanks for being here. I can't wait to show you some more videos in the future. I've got a lot of ideas coming. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.